Off Track Podcast, episode 27. A very special guest, the OGest of OG that we have had on the show and possibly to exist in the fixed gear freestyle realm. He is truly one of the founding fathers of everything we know and love today. Our favorite Canadian. That's going to be Mr. Tom Mosher. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Huge
for having me.
Huge.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have been watching Tom's content since I was in high school. Since a little 16-year-old JBall was maybe 14-year-old JBall even may have came across a Tom Mosher video here and there. Early tutorials, early edits. He was a very early progressor in the sport. But let me hand it off to Tom for a sec. Tom, what is your relationship with fixed gear? Who are you? Explain to the people who maybe don't know who you are.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It feels amazing that you even would want to have me here, so
It's an honor.
I really appreciate it. All right, so I'm a person who likes doing tricks with anything I touch, and so when I got into bikes, well, fixed gear bikes, it was inevitable I was gonna do tricks with it. I think we'll probably get into I don't know how I found fixed gear eventually, but it was just, I think, seeing other people doing a little bit of tricks, and then I knew that you could do more tricks because, you know, you can do tricks with anything, right? And then I just sort of became part of the wave of the early people who wanted to explore what tricks were possible on these bikes. And the earliest bikes weren't built at all for it, so we started breaking parts and slowly replacing them with parts that wouldn't break, and that was BMX and mountain bike parts, and eventually there was real parts, and we had real bikes made for doing this. Yeah, and I got to go for a ride with a lot of that. I got to be sponsored for a while and get some free bikes, and that was really cool. And now here we are, I don't know, 14, 15, 16 years later, and I'm finding out that I got to be part of something really cool that wasn't just so, you know, when these things come along, you feel like, oh, well, there's gonna be another next thing, but this is it. This thing happened, and then there isn't like some other weird cool bike thing coming. Like we're I guess like maybe like the wheelie guys and stuff, but like we made a thing, and now like it's just gonna get to ride out, and I feel really happy that I got to be part of that, and I'm looking back and feeling fortunate that I had good timing to get to throw myself at a type of bike tricks at a time when it was just blossoming, and I think that just blossoming aspect of it was really exciting to me. And then I went off and did a lot of other stuff in life too, but
Yeah, that's a very passion-filled, lovely answer from Tom. What Tom is missing from his description of himself too is that he was one of the founders of YNOT Cycle, founder of TrickTrack.org.
Trick Track.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Trick Track was all because we had this blossoming sport, but there was every other weird, obscure topic had a place to talk about it online. And at the time, that was a forum. That was, you know, I guess now it's Discords and so on, but at the time, there was a forum for every weird subculture. There wasn't one for how to do tricks on a fixed gear bike. So I went to, I couldn't afford to pay for a URL, so I went to free forums, and I sat there with there was the blank bar there. What the hell do I call this thing? And blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, tricks and trick track, hey, perfect, trick track at freeforums.org. And then like, and here I am, I'm like, that's still what we're calling this, like, still. And like it was just the blank bar I typed the thing into, like, so I'm like, damn, like I coined the name of the thing.
Dude.
I love that.
Well,
So, you ever thought about what's the origin?
Well,
I just 2 words.
Yeah. What's funny about that though is you know, let's say maybe 2014 or 15, you know, there was kind of maybe 16. There started to be a resurgence of what we know now as Trick Track a little bit, because it went from Trick Track or like, you know, flat ground Keo spins, blah, 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 to full blown BMX style. And then there was a resurgence later on, which I like to think that I helped influence, bring back the
I agree.
Tarck style.
Full on agree.
Thank you.
Yes, okay.
Thank you. I'll take my credit where it's due. But
Don't do that.
the thing is,
it's only gonna get bigger.
I do not have a big ego. Fuck off.
Yeah.
But
offensive.
what we started calling it was Tarck, and I got a message.
Yeah.
I got a message from Mr. Mosher on Facebook saying, "Nope, it's not Tarck, it's Trick Track." Can you explain? Can you tell us why?
Oh my god, I'd love to address that. Okay, because people don't know why I kind of like get like a little like my hair pringled about it. Because it's like, okay, at the time, Trick Track was the place for the people who were trying their best and really trying to figure these tricks out and modify their bikes and scratching their heads. What if I put my pedal pressure here and this and that and
The nerds.
and yeah, also sure decorating them in fun, crazy ways, and they're colorful and fine, great. Then Tarck Bike was also a forum, but it was the people like their whole thing was shit talking us as like a concept, like, oh, isn't it funny to try hard at that? And then they would dress up their bikes to look just like ours but not actually try hard at doing tricks, and it wasn't actually like it was taking the piss out of us as a concept. And so anybody who's like celebrating Tarck Bike, it's like, no, those people were the ones who didn't get it. Those people were talking shit and had none of like the soul and the substance of actually doing the thing. That's the difference. There's people who just wanted to look the part and be like, I'm too cool to try. Fuck you. I'm so sick of people who are too cool to try. I am a try-hard. I'm a keener. I myself at things. And that's how you get good at shit. It's fun. And where are any of those fuckers from Tarck Bike? Where are any of them? They're all fucking gone.
Yes.
What's the name of the sport now?
Yeah,
What's the name of the sport? It's fucking Trick Track.
Trick Track.
We're the ones who stuck around, who still have the bikes, who are still doing it, who still are digging them out from our back sheds and dusting them off. And oh my god, I'm getting back into it. Trick Track is doing it, not fucking Tarck Bike. That's
Fuck.
why I get all ruffled up about it.
Fuck Tarck Bike.
Oh my god.
Wait. So there was
There's your answer.
there's another forum called Tarck Bike. I had no idea about that one.
Yeah. And it was like, and like they were just like kind of making fun of us, and we're like, we didn't give a shit about them. We're just doing the thing, you know?
Why did I think it was a Trachosaurus Rex thing? Does it have anything to do with it?
No, because it kind of sounds like Draco. I don't know.
Oh,
Tarck,
weird.
Draco, no.
Wow, I learned something today. You learned something new.
And like, I didn't know that people didn't really know that. I don't know.
I don't think anybody today knows that. Like,
So now I'm glad this is addressed early in the episode, because anybody who watch this will see me getting all fucking heated about a website from 2008 or 9 or whatever. Like,
yeah. And when I received the message from Mr. Mosher that said stop calling it Tarck, I listened because he knows.
I wrote it diplomatically, did I not?
You did. You did.
Or was I spicy? I'm not sure.
No, you weren't spicy.
Okay.
I think you would have
I
been.
think we need to go back. I think you need to put it on the screen for the.
You
I'll-
can pull it up. You can pull it up. I'm fine with that.
I'll see if I can find it.
Show the receipts.
Yeah. I don't think it was. From what I remember, it wasn't spicy. I just was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense because this is like one of the founding fathers hitting me up, being, yo, call it this instead. I'm like, I will listen.
Yeah, Captain.
I got you.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Yeah, and now
like, I
no one calls it
noticed
that.
since then, yeah, and even like I've like mentioned a couple other people who I still say Tarck, and they're like, yeah, and like I've seen like so and so say, and like JBall used to, and I'm like, see, he stopped. That was because of me.
Yes, exactly. We haven't even addressed anything yet, and we're already
Oh, I know.
however many minutes in, 10 minutes in.
I love it.
I
I love it.
got a whole page of notes we haven't touched.
Let's
okay?
go. Okay, no, we need to take a step back. We need to take a step back for a second.
Big organization.
Yeah, is this still the intro?
Yeah, kind of.
It's gonna be a long episode.
Okay. You were a bike messenger, correct?
A little bit, yeah, for like 9 months, yeah.
9
That was
months.
when I was, I was like doing all the bike stuff and I moved to Toronto to try to make a life, and I needed a job, and I was able to get a job as a bike messenger right around the same time I met my now wife, and she just let me move in basically right away, and we've lived together since.
Wow.
Look at that, it's all working out. So yeah, but I only did it for like 9 months or so, because as that was going along, that I met Pony partway along, and then we started YNOT, And
So you stopped being a messenger to start YNOT.
yeah, because I would do like a couple days a week of in the it was a garage in an alleyway at the time. I'd do a couple days in the garage at YNOT, and then a couple days on the bike, and fill my week that way. And then gradually it was more and more. And then eventually one day I just told Tony, I said, because like he was sort of doing more like the officey stuff, and I was doing more of the hands-on stuff at that time, because he had like a full-time like suit job. And I was the like sketchy bike guy, and also the like the name, that people knew at the time.
Yeah.
And also I had already had a degree in mechanical engineering at that point, so like
wow.
it was like silly I was doing any of this stuff, but it was I had design background and stuff anyway. So
How old were you at this time?
oh yeah, like I was like old already. Like I'm like old now, but like I wasn't young ever to begin with at the time. Like I'd already graduated university, and like I took my time graduating too because I'm a stoner or whatever. And what were we talking? 2007, I was 25.
Okay.
So
okay.
yeah.
When did YNOT was founded in what, 2009, I think?
No, 2007, 2008.
Really?
Or 2008, 2009, yeah. Well, yeah, shit, I mean, you got better notes than me.
The
Yeah.
reason I can remember this is because you had that video promo called Introducing Why Not, where you did the big spin, bar
Oh,
spin.
yeah. Yeah.
You were on a Thrasher, so it had to be.
Yeah. You're right. You're fully right. Because that was in the alleyway that the garage was on. Yeah. You're fully right. Yeah. And
I remember that vividly. Because I learned how to do a big spin to bar spin because of that video.
Dude, so like just the other night, I was killing myself trying to get it. 'Cause I was like,
Yeah.
"This is the closest I've been to this like mountaintop in over a decade." Like I hadn't tried that shit, and like but I was like, I was killing my big spins that night. And sorry, I don't do big spins. I do Prolly spins. They're a little different.
I think they're the same.
Let's get it right. Okay.
Put it on my list.
It's too.
It's not the same if you pop up with the inside foot or the outside foot. It's a completely different trick.
That's no, because if you switch your foot in any other trick, the name doesn't change.
It does for me.
Fair.
I think an inside foot versus an outside foot keo are completely different tricks. It should be considered a different trick. And same with like a full cab with inside foot or outside foot.
It's just a fuck.
You're trying to defend it because you have like a fuck foot history. So you're trying to say like, oh no, it's all the same. It's all the same.
But it's just a fuck-footed big spin versus a not fuck-footed big spin.
Okay, so fine. So you agree we need nomenclature that specifies which is which. That's all I'm asking for. All I want is specific naming that when I say the thing, you know what I mean.
Sure. But I do.
But if I just say, go on.
I was gonna say I can do things both feet. It's just a matter of like which one feels more comfortable. But yeah, my fuck-footedness does influence my perception on things.
Okay, so have you done many other weird, obscure freestyle sports?
Skateboarding. That's it though. No,
Okay.
Sorry, you said obscure. No obscure ones.
Oh yeah, it's pretty mainstream.
That's the most mainstream one.
I know. It used to be like when I did it, I was made fun of for it because you were uncool to do it. But
Wow.
like, as a kid, like 80s and 90s. But all I was gonna say is, oh yeah, like for example in Footbag, like, I know you wanted to talk about, but like there is so specific. Like if a trick starts on a certain foot, which is the next thing to happen, I can know based on a really nerdy nomenclature exactly how that person's body moves without having to see a video or hear anything. I can just know based on the notation exactly what they did, and I can then tell. And then there's also like just like casual names. Oh, it's a rip walk or whatever. But like I can also say a rip walk is a clipper set stepping opposite butterfly, and like saying that to any other football player, they would know exactly what I meant. You know?
Yeah, that's a different language.
If we don't have that, yeah, but like we don't have that level of nerdiness in our bike stuff. And I guess I was always trying to push for it, and people are like, "Shut up, nerd," you know.
Well, I always use BMX as the gold standard because BMX is like, I love BMX. I don't really ride it at all. I don't even have a BMX bike, but I watch a shitload. And I don't think they really specify different tricks based on foot. It's more like you just add the word switch foot in front of it, if so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like they wouldn't really denote the difference other than saying maybe if it's like off foot, but if it's what the bike is doing, if the bike is doing a fakie 360 or a forward 360, you would just say that. You don't really care about how the feet are doing.
Yeah, feet.
Okay, fine.
People don't pay attention to feet that much. I'm talking about feet specifically.
Yeah. And I feel like it matters a lot in fixed gear because it's such a dominant part of how we're controlling the trick. It's your direct input. It's your only main input, you know, bars or whatever. But it's our real. We're talking to the bike with our feet. So to me, a Prolly spin feels a lot different than a big spin where like I kind of have to carve in differently and my body position is different and like I know you're saying like I could do either one. We're like, well, good for you, JBall. You're JBall. And they are kind of different. Like they're different things. And I'm not saying like we need to make a big deal about it. I just think it's worth mentioning. That's all. And that's why I'm saying I'm doing a Prolly spin.
So is the Prolly spin outside foot or inside foot?
Inside foot, 'cause that's what John Prolly did. And
okay, so I do Prolly spins.
You do? Okay, great. And the first person I saw doing an outside foot one was Sam Miller. So I was called the Miller spins, but that never really caught on. But I still just call them Miller spins, and no one knows what I'm saying. But that's like, to me, that just means an outside foot big spin.
I like that. The Miller spin. Maybe we can start catching that one on.
And I think it was in Bootleg 2 he was doing them, and like you see him set up, and he even does a backpedal it, and you're like, whoa, okay.
And
like,
what I noticed about his is that he stays back towards the seat. He doesn't hump the bars like Prolly did.
Yeah, no. And that's also the kind of thing. They're kind of different tricks to me, and like it's not good or bad. It's just facts. I don't know, like, and like the Miller one or like the seat back one is more like the Keo Rock one where you can like let go of the bars, like your weight's a bit more back, and they have a similar setup too of like that wide carve and the outside foot pressure and then lean back, and I don't know.
Pizza, you sound like you were gonna say something.
No, I was gonna say I like probably most people who are listening to this. I don't know what a footbag is. So if you could please
hacky sack.
Oh
yeah, it's hacky sack when you care way too much about it, and you care so much about it that you feel the need to correct people and be like, actually, it's not hacky sack, it's footbag. Hacky sack was just a brand name that was pushed by Whammo in the 80s and 90s.
That's funny.
But the actual sport that pre-existed all that is footbag, and it's still, and like that was my like big thing, like 2004 through when bikes took me away. Like it was my life, and I threw events for it, and I hand stitched footbags, and I traveled the world to tournaments. I've competed in the World Footbag Championships 3 times. I might actually compete in the World Footbag Championships this summer.
What?
4th time? Yeah. Do you want? Should I?
The legend Tom Mosher returns to Footbag. It's all the buzz in the Footbag community.
So, like I'm like very different position in the bike world, but like I'm like extremely well known in that world too.
Damn.
Like, I'm like like every single modern day footbag player knows me.
Whoa.
Everybody knows. It's a small sport too. Kind of just like clinging on with like the hardcore.
What's bigger?
Here, Pizza Man, right now, look up Tom Mosher footbag. You'll find one of my videos. Watch me play. You'll be
Tom,
same guy.
Tom, are you which sport is bigger right now?
And sidebar question: is there
active? Yeah, go on.
I was saying sidebar question: is there also an active footbag podcast that we can listen to?
Footbag podcast.
There was one. I don't think the guy's still going. Like, I don't know, like actual people who would like do like average number of people doing fixed gear freestyle, and I'll lump in 26 or 700 versus average number of people who do the sport of footbag on a given day. And I'm talking like people actually notice, not just like casual hacky sackers kicking a bag around. That's into the hundreds of thousands, I'm sure, every day. But like actual like people who like, I'm going to go play the sport of footbag, probably pretty close. I'm not kidding. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Like,
And which one?
Like,
which
a handful of dozen? I don't know.
And which one were? Which one were you more famous in?
Okay, so the footbag's been around for a longer time, and so I came along to like a mature sport. So I was never going to have the same type of impact I had in the bike world, but I modeled a lot of the impact I tried to have on the bike world after like what I saw in the footbag world. Like Trick Track is a direct copy of the footbag forum that I was my life. Like I was all over that forum, thousands and thousands of posts. Like I was Mosher on there. Like everybody knew me, and like they gave me that nickname. Like it, obviously, like I know we'll cover. I do appreciate they always call me Mosher, but like it's an obvious nickname I've wound up in every little subworld I've wound up in because it's literally the same word. You just say it differently. I know, like so.
Tom Mosher sounds
like,
cooler.
No, I know, but like I always felt like I was misleading people if I was like, hey, I'm Tom Mosher. Like that's like my name. It's when my family would watch a video and be like, why are you saying your name like that? Like it's weird. Like
That's funny.
But like I can still own the nickname Mosher. It's the same fucking word. Like it's there. Yeah. It's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, you always would go Tom Mosher here.
Yeah, well, because like. I knew that people were going to be thinking like, why is he saying Mosher? I'm thinking of this guy as Mosher, you know? Like, so like, I didn't know what to say. And like, the same thing always happened in the footbag world too. Like, so.
Yeah, it's a cool name. It's a cool name.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it is what it is, and like my kids like it, and they feel like they get to own it. My kids have cool names, and
like you can tell Pizza's watching your footbag videos right now.
Oh, that's what his face is. Which one did you pick?
Tom Mosher footbag from 16 years ago. You did this trick right now, or you did like you?
I'll put it on screen right now.
Oh my god! It's at minute 45. You hit a trick. We went over your head. No, you did like a, what the fuck? You did a trick where like you did like between the legs, over the back of your head, and then you did like a little leg spin and caught it on the bottom foot. What the fuck?
Yeah. That's a 5-ad trick. That's a 5-ad trick called Phoenix. That's a pixie ducking butterfly.
What the fuck? I'm surprised, Tom. I'm surprised you never got into like Kendama.
You know, okay. Likewise. Okay, there's like I try out every single freestyle sport that exists. Like if it's a freestyle sport, bet your bottom dollar I've given it a shot. And Kendama has every single thing written all over it that like I have multiple Kendama, but like it is fully a Tom sport. Like it's got tricks, it's got the community, it's got like modding. I have to be part of whatever sport I'm in. And then I got my first ever Kendama from a person I have to mention this podcast, Chris Lum. No, you don't know him. Nobody knows him. He died in 2011. Oh, he was my like #1 fixed gear homie. He contacted me off the Bootleg Sessions website.
Wow.
And he was living out in Nova Scotia, going to school, but his family lived close to where I was living in Toronto, and so when he would come home to visit, we were like the best homies, and we'd blaze and drink beers and ride bikes and have the best time. And anyway, he died in 2011 with ski crash. Life sucks. But he gave me my first Kendama. I'm so glad I got to mention him because I have him written 2 different places on my notes, and I have to mention Chris Lum because he was, and like it's weird. I don't have strong thoughts about the afterlife, but they've changed since Chris died because like he's a constant presence in my mind and my conscience, and like I like bounce thoughts off him all the time. I'm chatting with him all the time, and like I'm not choosing to. I'm not like trying to think about Chris all the time. Like I feel like his spirit's kind of hanging around, and like so I don't know.
That's beautiful.
Chris, he was a really special guy, and I'm really glad I got to mention him in this because. Man, I had written down both the homies list and the like people who influenced me list and like all different spots, and he was an amazing dude.
We always have a shout outs kind of ender, so you would have gotten a shout him out there, but I'm glad we got to highlight him
Yeah, hell yeah.
and naturally
So,
bring him up.
Yeah.
So the answer, why not kind of, I don't know. I have a couple. I've done it. I can like do some tricks. It just, I try these things and then some of them like light a fire and like, oh my god, I gotta do this, and like, and you guys, I feel like you can probably relate if you're people who get real into stuff. Like I'm pretty binary with things. Like either like I kind of do it not at all or like it's
Same.
all of me.
Same.
And it just that one never switched on and
Yeah, it
became my
happens.
thing, and like I still noodle around and play with it. And even just the other day I was like we're packing to move and I found that kendama that Chris gave me and I got a spike and rattled it for him, and like
there
it's
we
still
go.
like it feels good, and like I
Yeah.
don't know, who knows, it might come around. Like there's a bunch more. Like I could list like a whole bunch like X Pogo. Like why didn't like that's a sick ass sport. I would do that. Like I've had unicycles. That's good Tom sport. Like and like I can juggle. I've done all object manipulation stuff, like whatever. But and then I guess I'm sure people got bored of it on social media, but for the past like 2 years I was doing flips a lot because like
Yeah, you've been
instead
doing
of like
tricking.
yeah, and just like general acrobatics, because it's like I I got into that stuff right after graduating university. I kept having like, so I was in like my mid-20s, like 25 or whatever, and I kept having recurring dreams of standing backflips, and I couldn't get them in my head, and so I found an adult gym to learn how to do backflips, and I learned them. Yeah, cool. And then that was right around when I got really into the bike stuff, and I got all into bikes, and I sort of forgot about the flips and whatever. Like yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't know, I could probably flip. I'm not sure. Kind of forgot, but I was so obsessed with the bike stuff, I just threw away tricking, threw away all that stuff, and life progresses, and eventually biking less, working more, drinking a lot, and I got really out of shape, and I had my first kid at 2013, and then slowly got real out of shape and absolutely could not do any flips or anything like that. And then 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I started putting a lot of work into getting into shape, and I quit drinking 3 years ago. And then eventually I was like, oh wait, I'm in good enough shape to kind of start doing some stuff. And my daughter Hella, oh yeah, my daughter's name is Hella, and it's probably like a funny name to Californians, but like it's a cool old like ancient name. But like she doesn't know that people are gonna be like reacting to her name the rest of her life. But anyway, Hella got into gymnastics, and I was like taking her to these gymnastics places, open gym places, and I was like kind of fucking around. I was like, man, can I send a backflip? Like I think it's there. Like I think I'm in shape enough. And then like did a backflip for the first time in like 15 years, and I was like, it's back, I'm here, and like and then now that I have that flame in my hands, I can't let go of it. I gotta keep being able to backflip for as long as I can. I don't know.
I mean,
I lost it for 15 years. Like
if you do one every day for the rest of your life, like you should be able to keep going.
They're scary as shit, man. Like every single one is just as scary as all the other ones I've done. Because it's like you have to full send.
Yeah.
Like, there's no choice, you know?
I've never been a flip kind of guy. They scare me. I don't like being upside down.
You could do it. You just don't enjoy it.
No, it just scares me. I feel I'm going to break my neck.
Well, yeah, that's like your brain is sending all those messages. And that's what you have to just like, nope, override, do it anyway.
Yeah, right. That's
okay. We
amazing.
should probably cover more ground, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we got really deep into.
Real quick before we go into next week, Tom, can I tell you why I've never gotten into kendama?
Yeah, tell me.
The first time I ever tried one, I knocked myself in the temple, and I said it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, you gotta persevere.
No, I'm good.
No,
that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. First time I hit my temple.
I got super into kendama for a while, and then I just kind of stopped progressing a bit and stopped caring. So that's what happened to my kendama journey. I went to competitions though.
Really, you went that far, eh?
Yeah. I got
Sometimes
sponsored.
I see the like end result of like where the like hard work will get to me, and that's part of the like the sell.
Yeah.
And I see the like people shredding kendama, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's like, is it worth it?
Yeah, I felt that way about a bunch of things, and like I got to the point of like I could like solve a Rubik's cube, and then I was like, okay, what's the next level? It's like, oh, you gotta learn the shortcuts, and then I'm like, all right, right away, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a is this amount of time to get to there worth it? Like,
Well, I could shave like 4 or 5 seconds off my solve time on the cube, so
yeah.
I'm fucking around, like I don't know.
Like, do you want to? My current
No, it's not worth it.
my current thing is boxing. I got super into boxing, and now that's my
Yeah.
shit right now.
Are you still doing that? I saw that like a little while ago, and I was like, damn, he looks all beefy and scary and muscly, and it's
Yeah, still doing it. I'm gonna take another fight this year probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fun.
That's
I can
cool.
take him.
Obsessed. Yeah,
Yeah.
pizza could probably pin me down just with a.
It just sees red.
Yeah, that's what the people say, bro. I just see red, bro. You don't get it. When I'm angry, I'm different. Anyways, let's take it back a little bit. I want to know, like, because
Okay.
I mentioned you were a messenger. What was your first touch point into fixed gear, and why did you like it?
Okay. My first person that
And what
showed me
year?
a fixed gear bike. Okay. I was actually living in Kingston, which is where I live now again. But I was still in university. That would have been 2006 or seven, and he had a fixed gear bike, and he's like a bunch taller than me, and it was like not really something I was that interested. He was like all serious about it and whatever. I didn't really know what it was, and I had my whole life like that was when I was still psycho about Footbag and like I don't know my buddy's bike thing. I don't know whatever, and. Then one day, he like, man, you gotta just try it. So I went down on like the street outside and I tried it, and of course got like bucked by the pedals like everybody
Yeah,
does,
yeah.
and like and like what is this thing? Oh, and like I didn't like fully fall in love right away, but it was like it existed in my brain, and like that I think that was like it was a really tiny seed that it took a while to germinate, but then like eventually I got a road bike and took the back wheel and I got a single speed conversion cog, which is like a single gear that I got from the bike shop. That I went to the local muffler shop and I had them weld it fixed.
Oh,
So my
shit.
first, yeah,
Hell yeah.
and yeah, and that was my first fixed gear in like 2006 or seven, and like that was like what I was riding in the like Tom Mosher is getting better and the like
Oh yeah, that super slacked out conversion looking bike.
yeah. That was, and then eventually, I got my first like legitimate track bike, which was from this shop in Toronto called Cycle Mania, and they had these like overseas like I don't he was some type of Eastern European, I'm not sure, but he would source frames of like a variety of types from overseas from like his crazy frame builder guy overseas, like in like somewhere in Europe, like not Asia, and then he happened to offer a track frame. And so like me and a bunch of other guys would buy the Cyclomania track frame and we put various forks on them. Eventually I had the Brooklyn Machine Works Gangsta track on it. And that was like the beginning of because like I filmed my Bootleg Sessions 2 part with that Cyclomania track frame.
Yeah.
And as my part goes on, you see my fork getting
Yeah.
like more and more raked out. Yeah. And yeah.
By the end of it, you probably couldn't do barspins anymore, huh?
No, yeah, I didn't. No, I would just bonk into the frame, yeah. And um and I was why like I had a couple like weird mystery falls in there, like where I would like go to turn and I just like washed out and people
Yeah.
were like, why did you fall there? Because my fork was all raked out and it didn't ride like a normal bike. So I went to turn and it just like didn't work right. And also that was this like fake sandy beach area by the Lake Ontario, and there would be sand that sort of blew in
Yeah.
the area. So it was like shitty, sketchy bike with fake beach sand blowing it, like real sand but fake beach. You know what I mean?
Hey, you were doing dusters and duster 180s though. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So ahead of its
Well,
time.
and now again, it was part of the exploring. Like we were like, what is possible? Well, if I scrape this part of my bike, what if I scrape this part of my bike? What if
Yeah.
I, this pedal pressure? It like and like it was all inventing in because like the things didn't have the names yet. Like I'm sure you can steal some names from BMX and so on, but I mean like this fixed gear specific stuff that we do, that we were all kind of trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Damn. And then when did
Fun.
when did you have when was your because so that was your first touch point with like fixed gear, but when did you find out about the community and how did you find out that there was like like when did you find out about like Tom LaMarche? You know, like the
Okay, wait.
names at the
Well,
time.
it was a bit earlier than that. Like, it would be Mash actually before that.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Mash, like Mash doesn't get talked about nearly as much as it should. And like, I have it on my list, and we have to talk about Dirt from Mash.
Yeah.
That's like the one name that like nobody like. I don't know what he's doing now. Like, but like never hear him brought up as like he kind of invented our sport. If you like I don't know, like if you look at MASH, so I had a friend named Katie Howard. She showed me the MASH DVD, and like she had like we do like bike stuff together, and the DVD was fine, but there was a couple of dudes doing tricks, and like specifically it was Dirt's part I would watch over and over. I was like, oh wait, this guy is just like mostly playing on the bike. It's not about like going fast and skids. It's mostly play. And I was like, okay, like that's all I want to do. I just like playing with things. And like, sure, it feels cool to bomb a hill. I'm not denying that. But like, put a thing in my hands. I'm going to play with it. And like, that's, acrobatics is the purest of like, I'm not even holding a fucking thing. I'm just doing flips. Like, I am the thing I'm throwing around, So but when I saw Dirt in MASH, that was the first like, oh, wow, holy shit. And then I started paying attention to like, I got like any internet clips I could find and stuff. I don't even know where things are being posted at the time, but like, I knew about Bootleg Sessions 1 before it came out, and I had considered sending in clips. I'm so glad I didn't, because I was working on like the really embarrassing, like, okay, do you know, like I had one fixed gear video that went like kind of viral for the time, and I deleted because I was so embarrassed, but I shouldn't have, because like it would have been my only video with like a lot of views. The one where I was like skidding and juggling. Do you ever see that one?
I don't know if I saw that.
No.
Yeah, and it got into the like over 100,000 views, which is like any of my videos were like a couple thousand views at the time.
That's
And
big.
that one I would get like
shit.
comments like shit talking me constantly. People would bring up, and I was doing skids and juggling and then track stands and juggling. And I was just fucking around. Like it wasn't like, guys, this is the direction sports should go. I like to fuck around. I'm a playful guy, and like
It's a silly little guy.
yeah, and like I know how ridiculous I am, and I know how like lampoonable fucking everything I do is. Like I think people don't think I'm very self-aware or something. Like no, I know, but like it's so like so I shouldn't have deleted it, but yeah, what did I get on that video?
Because we're talking about early inspirations, and I don't know. I feel like we were gonna go into you said Bootleg Sessions 1 and submitting clips.
Oh yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe I should try to be involved in this project. 'Cause I knew it existed, and then like when it came out, and I saw Tom LaMarche's part and Bootleg Sessions 1, I was like, oh my god, like. He's like, that's the sport. Holy shit, he's throwing 360s. It is so raw, and so amazing. And I would have looked so fucking lame if I accepted my like, track stand and like, and then like maybe like a pogo or like, oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't. Yeah. And then so Bootleg 1 comes out. And like I was already like a playing with tricks guy, but then I was like, oh my god, I have so much work to do, and I mean, it kind of maybe it might be evident from like the rest of the story, but Tom LaMarche and Keo Curry, I was like, I want to do all of their stuff and try to kind of mixy mash it together. So I'm like spinning and grinding and whatever. Like that was what the vision, the hope I had for the sport was like some sort of fixed gear trick specific version of like using the stuff that really we can only kind of do to then do cool spinny stuff, but is also kind of gnarly and has like grinds and whatever involved too. And so JBall, quite honestly, when I saw a lot of like the cool combos of like using actual fixed gear drivetrain and like cool weird environments and like skate park stuff, I was like, that yes, go, yes. Like so I'm sure I made comments like in the years past, like, this is what I'd always hoped the sport would become, or like whatever, like, but I fucking mean it. Like, like
it's so good. Keo and Tom, man. Bootleg Sessions 1. Who else was in that? Was Sean Wolf in that? And Willis Johnson,
yeah,
I think?
so. Yeah, Willis. Was Nasty in it?
No, not Bootleg 1
Is
yet.
in 2? Okay.
I don't even know if he made it into 2. Marco.
Really?
Yeah, Marco was bigger before Tepe was.
Right. Yeah, you're
and
right.
also there was, because I know Bootleg Session 2 and 3 both had Japan sections, and none of the modern day Japan riders we know today are in either of those sections. It's kind of crazy.
Right. Like Fixica, I still like follow him around. You know him?
No, I don't think so. I'm not my Japanese fixed gear history isn't as good as it should be. But I know that in Bootleg 1 had the dude, I forget his name, but he had the like crazy looking pursuit frame with the really tall bars in the back, like yellow arrow spoke or something. And he's doing like track stands with his foot in the arrow spoke.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he was in Bootleg 1, I think. And I'm sure people had opinions about his bike back then because people were bike snobs.
Yeah. Oh man, we have to come back around to bike snob. I have that written down here. I got a reason.
Yeah, so Tom Mosher himself in 2000, let's say 7, because this is when Bootleg Sessions 1 came out, had this track bike frame you just talked about with the BMW fork, or was that maybe after that?
I got that probably after Bootleg came out for sure. And I was like, yeah.
And you saw Keo and you saw Tom and were like, holy shit, I need to do this and I want to be there. So then you just started
inspired, for sure.
So you just started fucking grinding, I assume, just putting in the hours.
I threw full on psycho Tom obsessed mode, and also at the time I had no kids, no job, no anything. I was just living at my parents' house after graduating from university, no direction, trying to figure out what the fuck to do with my life. And I had found this thing to throw all of me at, and there was a lot of me available. So like practicing constantly and like just drilling, which I brought from Footbag, because like in Footbag that like there's literally thousands of tricks you have to learn, because like for each different possible component and concept, like there is like the multiply, you know, this move times each of these moves, it makes a new move, and so you have to be able to do all those different ones. And for each of those ones, you go through the act of, I'm not able to do this, I am an awkward noob at it, I try my best, and then through repetition and practice, then you learn how to do it. And so you have this, it's like pounded into you over and over. This is how you learn stuff. And so it was through the sport of football I learned like, oh, I just got to get out there and start like, okay, try the trick and then analyze. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Okay, my balance was off here, and then like, okay, try it again, and just reps.
Yeah.
And then slowly, I put the video out. Tom Mosher is getting better. That was like a little bit after Bootleg come out. I'd been psycho practicing in my parents' road in front of their house, and like the first ever Keo I ever hit is in that video. It's the first time I get to pop up and come around. I'm like, oh, dude, like that was the first Keo I've ever hit. And then like I later heard Tony Fast sent an email to the like Bootleg Sessions guys being like, oh, watch out for this guy coming up. Like when one of those like early videos I put out, and like I was so flattered when I way later found out about that. Like it was either that one or the like, did you see the track bike in a skate park? That was like one of the earliest clips I did. That I think it might have been that one that he was like, oh, like, this guy like doing some stuff like,
yeah, you jumped the Euro right into a nuts to stem skid.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I remember that video.
That's crazy.
And the bike looks so like conversion-y too. It looks like crazy to be doing tricks on that bike.
I think that might have been the Cyclemania by then. I'm not sure. We'd have to look at the dates, but anyway, yeah, like
we'll have to look at the tape.
So just like psycho practicing and obsessing, and at the time, like I have like early pictures as like through like the early Trick Track days of like we would just, as we're practicing, bits of the bike would break, and so we'd be like, okay, this part broke, so we got to replace it. And one of the early things was like the pedal straps themselves. We had actual track bike cages, like metal cages, and then I couldn't afford leather straps, but I got a set of cages, and then I had double hose clamps for a long time, like 2 hose clamps running instead of the leather straps.
Hell yeah!
I've been innovative since day one. Yeah, yeah, and it worked fine. It was okay, and then eventually got some like hand-me-down, power grips. Those are one of the ones people would try, like a diagonal strap.
Yeah, I remember.
And then on my big bootleg 3 trip, wasn't bootleg 3 trip, but my big West Coast trip. Wait, hang on, I gotta shout out Jennifer Carroll. She was the person who took me on that trip. She was from Trick Track. Okay, we'll get to it, I know, but Jennifer Carroll, thank you so fucking much. She, like, I am
Shout out
forever
Jennifer.
indebted to her. Yeah, there. She's not gonna hear this or see this, but I said it, okay?
Let's make sure she sees it.
Yeah, where was I before that?
Making straps, double toe cages.
Yeah. So on that trip, I had been using like a variety of shitty, like handmade crappy straps. So like I knew how to hand sew from my history in Footbag because I hand sewed hundreds and hundreds of Footbags, and I was like, how like the very best prime Footbags in the world can only be made by nerds like me who know how to make them perfectly by hand. So I had an extensive hand sewing experience. I didn't know how to use a sewing machine yet, but on that trip, from a busted out car in Hawaii, I got a set of seat belts that I then hand sewed a set of pedal straps that I used for a long time. Those pedal straps actually feature some features that I know JBall knows a little secret project, but there was something in those very first straps that is already going to be showing up again. But
you had these seatbelt straps in your pink Cutter bike check.
Yes. Yeah. Those were the ones I handmade in Hawaii on that trip with my stitching kit. Like,
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Tom's been innovating since day one. You had Holdfast at some point, right?
Yeah. So it used to be a thing each year. There was the Bike Film Festival in New York, and well, it was all over, but me and a bunch of other bike people from Toronto would travel down to the New York version of it because it was just like a huge bike party festival street thing, and there was always tons of events based around it. And then that eventually became kind of like an annual fixed gear freestyle like pilgrimage. And on one of those, I like was given a set. I'm pretty sure that was when I got them and started using them. And like I don't know if I was ever like on the team. Like maybe I don't think so. I don't know. Like I was that like it was never something super official. I don't think. But then eventually, like we can get to like YNOT stuff because that's like a pretty big chapter. But like I know I'm gonna blab forever. But eventually, yeah, like I wound up doing like the YNOT stuff, and so I was testing and prototyping. So I wasn't going to be riding the Holdfast because I was testing and trying to figure out this new design of the strap. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm like ditching Holdfast this or like anything against Holdfast. It was like we were just designing and iterating and trying to figure things out. That was really where it was, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Backtrack again. Let's take a few steps back here.
I know. I apologize.
No,
I know
don't.
I rambled and run
You're
off.
good.
And,
No,
yeah. I said everything's a can of worms.
Yeah,
so it's not
it
my
is,
fault.
and it is. It's not your fault. It's no one's fault. But I want to. So what gave you the confidence to finally submit footage to Bootleg and Bird?
Well, like eventually, I knew that like the practice was paying off, and I was starting to do stuff that was like I wasn't like I knew it was not like new and like pushing limits, but like I didn't really know if other people were working on similar stuff and so I was like I knew that like whatever stuff I was working on was far enough along that it was worth like trying to participate, and so I was like I'll just film some stuff and share it. I think you were like, how'd you get in contact with Bird? I don't really remember how the first contact was. Like, there might have been some official contact page and I just emailed or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Were you putting content online before you were ever featured in a Bootleg Sessions, I assume?
Yeah, like those ones we said, like the Tom Mosher was getting better and like track bike and skate park. And I think him seeing that stuff made him know like, oh, like this guy's actually going for, okay. Like, I think he saw those. Yeah, like I might have like linked that when I emailed him, and then he was like, okay, stop posting things for this next window. Like that's what they would do. It was like, don't put things out. Send me all your content for a bit, and then you can, and then you'll get to be in the video. And at the time, yeah, like I said, it was all physical media I was sending him. So,
What was I gonna say about that? Was the content you were putting out like gaining pretty good traction at the time? Like, were you getting a lot of views and notice?
Well, yeah, I mean, like it's all of course relative, but like it felt like it. Yeah, it was really exciting, and you got all those dope hits, so you want to keep doing it, right? And
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Did you like? How did you get? What was your first sponsor? Was it Volume?
yeah. First, like real one, yeah, I'd say Volume.
How'd they find you?
We can. Okay, well, I don't, I don't even know how. I don't remember how I like caught wind that they were gonna be looking for like a fixed gear rider to sponsor. Like I knew that they existed. They were gonna make a frame. I didn't know like how legit of a BMX company they were. Like really what their deal was. Cause like I didn't have like an extensive BMX background. Like I grew up as like a kid doing like BMX jumps in the park and stuff. But that's not like street BMX
Yeah,
modern.
doesn't
Like,
really
this
count.
is like 80s, 90s. Like it's a whole different thing. So like I didn't really know much about volume. So I sent them TO Track Tricks 3, which it's just me. I don't know why I call it TO Tracks 3. Like it's just me alone. But
Weren't all of them?
it's like,
Weren't all of them just you?
listen, I couldn't make a lot of friends, and then my friend died, and then like no, because you know what? It was like I would be like so for a long time actually, I had a weekly trick like track bike trick night in Toronto. It was every like Tuesday or Thursday, I can't remember, but like for a couple of years, like we would come out and we would practice our fixed gear tricks together. But then eventually I was practicing way harder than everyone and like kind of like intimidating people. I'd be like 900 kilo, and people were like I was just trying to a track stand, and like it was like it was my fault. Like I was throwing off the vibe.
You were
But, like,
too good?
It was also it was a fun party because this was in like the like Toronto's biggest like urban park where like every night was like a kind of big party and people drinking and having fun, and
Cool.
and there was like an arena, and so we would have our track bike tricks doing stuff there, and yeah, so like the first ones, the like Toronto track tricks, like the very first one, like there is like a couple other people around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually it's just mostly just like me edits. You had in the list of questions, where's Geo Track Tricks 4?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, where? I looked it up. I just called it Toronto Track Tricks. I don't know why.
Oh.
I don't know why. Yeah, it's there. It's like it's between 3 and 5, but it's just called Toronto Track Tricks, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. No, I have no explanation.
Okay, that's good to know because
No continuity. Yeah.
I thought it got maybe wiped from Vimeo or YouTube or
Yeah.
something, and I was missing
Yeah,
something.
controversial. Yeah.
Because
And like here I am trying to be like I'm this nomenclature psycho, and I'm just all over the place with my naming stuff. And yeah.
back to Volume. So you were Volume's first rider, yeah?
Yeah. So I think I just sent. I think it was probably just directly to Brian Castillo an email. Like it was probably just he was the person receiving the stuff. Like I just struck up an email conversation with Brian. I said, "Here's my edit," and it was like a pretty BMX oriented edit. Like it starts with like a gap to wheelie, and then like a wheelie to grind, and like all like it's pretty like, and it's like aggressive sounding, and so like, and at the time I think a lot of edits were like just like who could like Keo the most number of times and like throw a bunch of bar spins, and like that was the whole sport it seemed, and like who could do the most combos of like different legs over the bar
yeah.
combos, like that was, and then when Volume saw my edit in their mailbox of like gaps to wheelies and grinds and stuff, like it was like, oh okay, like maybe we could kind of get behind this, and so they were just like, okay, and they just sent me a black cutter, like that first one I got, and like with everything, like a full like put a bike together.
That's so sick. That
yeah,
probably
and,
felt
like,
pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Maximum blessing, and like I know, like I'm so grateful from day one, and like it was so cool that I got that opportunity, and I was always so like, this is amazing, so, and I still feel that way, but like I have a couple of the bikes still, and they mean the same thing to me, and they like nostalgia is a dangerous thing. I try not to cling on to too hard because I don't want to let it devalue the present moment, but like I can still look at them and feel good about it and be like, hell yeah, like they believed in me and I got to participate in that, and like the glow in the dark cutter, I was in the catalog doing the trick, like I am the picture, like
The
God,
wall
like,
ride.
I don't have. Yeah, and like, I don't have like a physical one anymore, but like I want to get one eventually and like show my kids like man. And so that bike was always gonna be special to me. Like
Yeah.
I was, it's me.
Do you
And
still
also like,
you go?
sorry.
I was gonna say, do you still have the pink one?
No, my really good homie George, another person I put on the shadow list, George Bonkowski. He's a international traveling DJ now, amazing dude.
Damn.
I'm sure he bought off me for some weed or something. He was a, and, well, it was a trade, I'm sure. But I think he painted it black and rode it for a long time and put it. He was just one of my riding homies,
Cool.
and yeah, I couldn't cling on to every bike, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be giving my bikes to my friends too.
Yeah. He that bike I got on that same West Coast trip when I met all the volume people. I went to the volume headquarters with my
Nice.
totally janky black one. And it was in like they couldn't get the cranks off and like they're like, well, I guess we gotta give you some BMX cranks. Like
Cool. That makes so much sense because during that trip you switched from a black to a pink one. That
there you go, yeah.
that makes so much
I
sense.
lost my black that they have the black bike. I don't know what they did with it, but I didn't keep the black bike.
I don't think they kept it. I went to the warehouse recently.
Yeah, I'm pretend shock for the listeners.
Not not there. There was one glow in the dark cutter there though.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, like an old one.
Yeah, no, I'm eternally extremely grateful to Brian for all the generosity and for believing in me and for like putting their name behind my name and like be like letting me represent them. And like I know I'm weird. I know I'm like never gonna be like the cool guy and they were okay with like because I was still like a guy having an impact and I think they like that. They knew I was a presence and a person trying to help and grow and participate in things and so I don't know, and at the time at least, like the videos I was making were getting enough views that it was worth it for them, and
Yeah.
just having me on their team was like a thing. So I don't know, I never got a pro any part anything like a physical anything other than like the straps I made for myself at YNOT. But like I honestly don't think I'm not in like denial that like I'm always like in all these freestyle sports I get into I can get to like upper average and then I'm like and I get like I fuck off and go to the other sports. I'm not like when you have the question of like Mount Rushmore like I don't think I'm like one of the best riders. I'm like I never was, but I'm like maybe the most involved or the most passionate or most like I like being in it, but I don't know.
We'll
Not
get.
sure where I'm going with that exactly.
It's okay. It doesn't need to
Yeah.
have a destination, but
I don't have any of them.
that Mount Rushmore question is something I save to the end.
Okay, yeah.
So volume. Okay, fuck it. Let's go to the Thrasher. Did you have input on the Thrasher, and what were your thoughts while it was coming out when you finally got to ride it? Because, dude, that Thrasher bike check you put out was a huge reason for me to be like, I want a Thrasher. Like, that looks so sick.
Well, that's cool to hear.
You really sold it.
Yeah. Though in that edit is the injury that kind of like is the end of my riding, like the like that phase. But Thrasher, yeah, no, I was definitely like trying to give input of like basically like the bigger the tire, the better. Because it was a time when like Wonka had just showed up with like his gorilla with like woo huge curvy seats. Like, oh my god, look at all the room he's got, holy shit! And we're all like crimping our cutters to try and get like a couple more mils. Like I went up to 32C. Like, yeah, big beefy tires, you know, like so yeah, the input was basically like biggest yoke whatever you can do to give us more space like and shortest chain stay possible for wheelies and stuff. But like I think when I got it, like when I physically received it, I was still working as a bike messenger and I couldn't help directly compare like I can go faster easier on my cutter, this feels heavier slower. But like that's not the fair comparison I should really be thinking about. But like I can't help remembering, but I will also just know like a cutter is like a faster, swifter, more track specific bike, and the cutter is this, you know, a little bit heavier, more beefy thing, but on purpose. And so it was exciting that like, oh, all of a sudden we can get bigger tires, but then almost as soon as we got them, we were like, let's do 26-inch, and like full credit Mike Schmidt for pushing that so hard because, you know, we'd all like tiptoed half-assed with the like, oh, we can do a smaller front wheel because you get better bar spin clearance. But I never liked the like mullet look and like of the uneven because it looks like, oh, I have to do this like thing to allow me to do the tricks. It's kind of like not cheating, but like it looks like it's like, man, you're running a smaller wheel, like just fucking learn the trick or like adjust the bike geo or whatever. But like your bike ain't it if you need to run a small wheel on the front. That's just how I've always felt about it. And so like even like when I'm trying to do cutter tricks again recently, like I'm only going 700C. And so anyway, at the time we real quick, like so I had like I was like, oh okay, I think Velocity sent me a set of Velocity Psycho, I think were the rims, are 48 hole, crazy heavy, like they were more than twice as heavy as any other wheels I had, but like indestructible, like total bomb-proof wheels. And I set those up, and that was like I think probably around the time of like RVA Jam and like Mike Schmidt really like pushing that stuff.
Yeah.
We blazed way past first pegs and stuff.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
that was on the list a long time ago. Yeah. But that was Wonka. Wonka gave me a half peg on one of those trips to New York City. Because he was starting to experiment with that. And so I come back from the trip. There's a video of me in the glow-in-the-dark cutter, white fork, and I do like a number of grinds in a skate park.
You just
and stuff.
Smith.
Yeah, Smith. I think that was the first. Like I was trying to do a like first ever at the time. I was like, I don't think anyone else has done it. Like
I think you did
Wonka's
it.
like possibly. Wonka is like this like holy shit, unbelievably talented person, but like I'm really conniving. And I knew the little things he hadn't quite got to. And so I was trying to pick off a couple of things specifically. Like another one very specifically, I beat him to feeble bar.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking sure I'm the first person on a fixed gear bike to feeble bar. It was on one of those New York City trips. And I was just like, every time I was like, feeble bar. And like he found out, but he's like, "Oh no, you got it before me, dog!" Like, and like he could do it easily. He just hadn't like thought to do it, you know?
Right.
Like,
Okay.
it was always like I was cherry picking, you know?
Okay, I've had this thought before, and I'm not sure. You have to send me. Is there footage of you doing it for the first time?
Like the first ever ones.
Feeble bar, yeah.
There is a clip. No, it's not the first ones, but maybe I do it in the revival in New York City on my glow in the dark cutter. I don't know if that's the first, but it was right around then.
We'll have to check dates, because you know what I found very recently is a clip of Oscar Kahn, feeble bar.
Yeah?
He did pedal.
What type of feeble?
Pedal feeble.
Okay, because he was never a peg guy. Yeah.
Pedal feeble bar
Because
back in like 2000, like it might have been late 2008, early 2009.
It's possible, and I think I was maybe in my mind, again being like a nomenclature nerd, being
Right.
like, oh, a peg feeble is different. Because also like, was it like a nice bar or to kind of like slop off the end of the ledge?
I count it. It was pretty.
Okay.
I'll send you the clip
And, like,
after
I'm guilty of shitty bars too at times. I'm not saying I'm perfect.
Yo,
like,
you
I
were,
love shitty bars.
dude, you were one of the first people doing legit bunny hop bar spins too.
Thanks. Well, again, trying to chase Tom Marche and trying to. So again, wait. Going for being conniving and trying to get these things. I knew no one had done bunny hop bar spin on a fixed gear bike yet, and I knew that me and a couple of people were like, "Oh, trying. Oh, maybe should we go for it?" And then Super Ted, I hope, he gets credit, right?
Yep.
He did it first. Like, I hope worldwide he knows, but like. A couple hours later, I went out on my parents' front lawn and I did it too. But like, because I saw that Super Ted had done it,
Yeah.
I was like, I have to do it now. And so I sent, and it was the.
I knew you were number two.
Weird, yeah, but it wasn't like a nice like it was like all like weird foot timing, like not the yank up bar, but like yeah, it was definitely janky, but like I have to be number two at fixed gear bunny hop bar spin.
You were.
Okay, wait. I don't think I'm gonna think of this again, but and I know I'm gonna be a tangent, but I'm pretty sure I hold a fixed gear related world record that no one else knows I hold.
What's that?
Okay, unless someone else has done it and I don't know about, I'm pretty sure I hold the world record for longest time, duration and distance fakie. I don't know if anyone's like, I did it for a half hour once.
Damn.
I don't know if anyone's like, again, this was during that training like a psycho, had all the time to kill. And it was a huge, massive empty parking lot. I had like a music mix on. It was a 30-minute mix. I just rode for the whole mix backwards. And I was like, damn, that was 30 minutes. So there is a Guinness World Record for longest distance on a bicycle backwards, but it's that bullshit one where you're sitting on the bars, like the bike is still going forward, but you're facing the wrong way.
Oh,
you know?
that doesn't count. Fuck that.
Yeah, no.
The Guinness fuckers don't know what actual fakie is.
No.
So, okay, don't steal this. I'm gonna actually reach out to them, and I'm gonna actually start the email chain and say, hey guys, what do we have to do to make this official? I would like to actually set this record. Can you send out an officiant? I'll do it on this day. I'd like to actually set the world record for either duration or distance riding a bicycle backwards.
Dude. Okay, cool.
I think I actually hold it. I think I hold it currently. Unless, like, I know Marcus, that guy, that he's gonna say like, oh, someone did it in 1922 for an hour and a half. And yeah.
His old BMX knowledge and like skier knowledge is great.
Yeah. No, he's been showing some really cool stuff. I love it.
Okay, well that's good to know. Are there any other?
It's a side trail. We're back.
Well, are there any other like NBDs that you're aware of that you did?
I'm pretty sure I got Prolly hop bar first.
Totally.
This is not a BMX.
Totally.
Like, and I think I did fakie hop bar first in that same video.
I think you're also
Someone
right.
else might have yanked one, and we were doing fakie pop-up bars, like my buddy Tom Briggs, who made the revival.
Oh yeah.
He was like the king of like rolling fakie bar spins, and you do fakie double, fakie triple, or like bar back, but like rolling fakie bar, and it looked sick as hell because he'd be on like a legit track bike, all like cool track guy, and then like just pop a bar spin while riding fakie. It looked really cool, but I hadn't seen anybody do an actual funny hop bar spin fakie yet. So that was like, I had to get it. And that was when that was
in the this is not BMX edit.
Yeah, this is not BMX. That is my personal favorite fixed gear related piece of content I ever put together. Like,
Damn,
personally.
Still to this day.
Yeah. Because like in that every single trick in that video, I was trying to do fixed gear specific, and then a lot of them I was like trying to do things I hadn't seen yet. Like some of them like had like, you know, like the rolling backwards, the bar twisting stuff, but like most of the stuff I was trying to do combos I hadn't seen, I hadn't done yet personally, like bunny out bar spin off the curb. I hadn't seen anyone do that yet. Like, so I was like, and you know, I was like, it was also just trying a bunch of ideas that like, who knows, the like going across the manual pad, but like the whole time, like when I land no hands and put it back, and like I just wanted to know, can I do it? Like I knew I could no hand wheelie. Can I land in that no-handed wheelie and go across the manual pad? You know, like
yeah, you're just playing around.
Yeah, and it was all just one night. I probably got stoned, drove to the fucking parking lot by the Wendy's, and just did a bunch of tricks. Like it was like, I don't know. It was, and I didn't need to like film and try so hard. Like it wasn't try hard. It was just like a night of exploration, and I hit a bunch of cool things, and the song goes with it well, and like it's like, oh, like I'm just happy I captured that moment, and but it's like I also know like behind all that content, like I was like total like dead end, didn't know what the fuck I was doing with my life, and like I had nothing going for me, just like stuck at home, like didn't know where to go next, had no real career direction. Like I had graduated from university, but I knew I wasn't a suit and tie, sit at a desk to be like I'm a mechanical engineer, and no, and like I'm still wrangling with that. Like I still like, even just like this past year, I've been like, oh fuck, should I maybe just go get that engineering job, or like do I stick with the career path I'm on? And like I don't fucking know, but like and so I really didn't know then. Yeah, and like I also like right now, the like being a good dad is my like life raft I cling to. Is like as long as I can do that really well, and I like try really hard at being a dad, and I come through for my kids, like whatever else, like who fucking cares? Like everything else is bonus round. Everything else is like, you know, I don't care. People measure me however you want, but like I know I was there for my kids that day and I like came through for them, and so whatever. And then like if I attempt to accomplish things on top of that role, and as I'm describing, that happens at night, like what we're talking at 1 a.m. now, 12:30. Like I got to do things after they go to bed, which is fine. But I know that I worked my job and then I left my kids and I got them to bed. And then so like, all right, whatever. Now we can have our chat. It's all good.
Yeah. Do you have multiple kids now? You have 2 kids?
2, yeah. Hella's 10 and Van is 7.
Dang.
And
Very nice.
Van's like full on mini me ripper. Like he's really into BMX is his thing right now. BMX and basketball. And like he wears little full face helmets, full like going, he's doing jumps and he wants to go like street riding. We went street riding tonight. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I ride around, like tonight I was riding my Vandal and he was on his BMX, and like I'll do my like forever wheelies and like
Yeah. That's so sick. Rad dad.
gotta.
That's future JBall right there. That's JBall hopes and dreams right there.
I mean, Pizza, you too.
Hey, I mean, Jess, I wish I get out with the kid. She doesn't like riding around, dude. Just
How old's your kid?
she's 8. She's
8,
she's a special case. Yeah, she doesn't like getting out. She's like me. She's like a homebody. I get it. But it just
Yeah. Well,
it is.
I show my kids all these random things, like all the weird shit I do and all the normie sports, and let them kind of pick and choose. And I wasn't gonna like be bummed on my kids if they didn't fall in love with the exact sport I love. So like I'm not like I know some people are like, I finally have a kid, like they're gonna do my exact thing. Like I don't know, maybe not. Like and like my daughter, she's super into gymnastics, and so now I'm just like, hell yeah, cheering on with that. And so now I try to join her in that, and that's a little slice of like her and I are like legitimately battling on trying to get certain tricks that we're both working on, and like
That's so cool.
We can find a middle ground.
So let's go back to volume, and we're talking about the Thrashers and stuff. Which, by the way, you got me into Animal Collective because of that Thrasher bike check.
Oh really?
Yeah, dude, I love Animal Collective still to this day. He's used that My Girls song.
Yeah.
So good.
Wait, did you say you want to mention that or talk about that edit again? Or?
Well, I was just kind of like bringing that up while I was there, but the switch from 26 or from 700 to 26, like how did you feel about that as a whole?
I mean, to me it felt like just a continuation of us just trying to not just explore but like figure out what these bikes were going to be and how they were going to work best. And there was obviously lots of different opinions and ideas, and so it was like, well, let's try this and let's try this. And I think there was sound logic of, we kept like our wheels were getting fucked always, and it was this never-ending battle of like either pinch flats or just mangled wheels. And it's like, okay, well, that's clearly not the answer. The 700C wheel can't handle the path we're trying to progress the sport. And that was around the time when we were really heavily trying to like, what BMX tricks can we do on these bikes? Let's explore that. And I don't like regret that. Like I think you posted that RVA jam at it, and I watched it the day. I was like, and I saw like, every trick is just a BMX trick. I was trying to do BMX tricks. Every trick. Like I'll take credit. I did a wheelie to double peg, so at least that's fixture specific because my feet were turning. But
yeah, right.
Like it was like this. It was clearly this moment of like, oh, how much can we chase that as an idea of like, look, BMX guys, we're doing BMX tricks. And like, it was funny because in that video, there's one BMX clip and it's so much gnarlier than everything we did. And it just like, and I think it's not like, it's not a big thing he does, but it just has so much more presence and control and power. And we look so awkward and like, that's not a good look.
For sure. I mean, it found its footing.
No, for sure. And it became a thing. And like, I guess you had a big role in that too, of like, here's how it can make sense. Cause we didn't really, we just knew it was more like a technological thing of like, the bikes keep breaking. Okay, how can we make them stronger? Okay, well, these wheels are the most readily available wheel size in the whole world. Why not switch to that? And then we got so much options for ones. We can get cheap wheels that are strong and replace them easily if you break them. And there's tons of suppliers. So there was just a lot of logic behind it. And then also like it was also the like what's next, and wanting like that next hot thing, of course. And so like of course I was excited to put 26-inch wheels on my Thrasher.
Cool.
And then of course begin nagging Brian to start designing a 26-inch specific frame. And that's when like the Vandal eventually came around.
Yeah,
And
that
I still have my Vandal prototype, and I might build it back up just for fun.
I was gonna
'Cause
say,
it's kind of like your modern bike.
that Vandal prototype pizza. Do you remember seeing that for the first time when Steven or Tom were riding it?
The one that I said that's what it should have been.
The
original one?
tiny one.
Yeah. I love that one,
Dude,
That's the one.
I remember seeing that shit. I was still a very diehard 700 person at the time, and I was like, "That's too small. Fuck that."
And now here we are, probably about that size, which is insane.
No, that's probably smaller than our current bikes.
You think so? You think it was like?
I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
I'll measure it for you, because like I've seen, like when I was watching Duke Man's video today, his bike, it's like
It's
so
really
squat.
small.
Like,
It's really small.
that's way more squat than mine. Like I don't know.
Wait, you still wait. You have the original OG Vandal?
Yeah. The raw
Yeah.
one. It's rusty and covered stickers, but I still have it. Yeah.
Tom and Steven were the only two who had it, I think.
I didn't think he still had it. That's insane.
Yeah, it lived on the wall of this cool bike shop in Toronto for like a couple of years, and then eventually that shop was gonna be closing down. I was like, guys, can I get the frame back? And I got it back.
Good for you.
Yeah. Okay, but you just reminded me. I think I forgot I wanted to bring up, but you reminded me we were talking about frame. There was a way before its time bike that I haven't heard anybody bring it up. I can't fucking. I've tried to Google it. Okay, it was when we were still in the like road bike conversions, like riding actual track bike stage. This fucking company from Europe. It's like Star Cycles, Star something, has Star in it. God, I can't remember. It was like a dirt jumper mountain bike. It was like our fucking modern 26 bikes, but fixed. And he was doing all kinds of like back pedal things. He had a really good low gear ratio, and like doing all like cool spin around things, like infinity spins. I was like, oh my god, this is possible! Holy shit, this is the sport! Oh my god, this is it! And like, and it was just that one. And there was a website for it, and then like everyone's like, we went track bikes for the next like 5 years.
Oh shit.
While this thing already existed. Yeah, and like the video, it's got to be somewhere on the internet. It's like, it's a black bike. So it's this dude in Europe. He's like clearly good at riding bikes, but he's like doing like back pedal spins. It's fixed drivetrain, 26-inch wheels, and it looks like it's like a dirt jump frame. Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen
Star
this.
Cycle fixed. Yeah, like, and like I remember like at the time being like, here it is. Here's the answer. I've got it all figured out, guys. And like, and it just never became a thing.
Dude, you have to do some digging to find that for me, because I don't.
I've tried. I know, it haunts me, dude.
And the worst part is that it might be deleted by now.
It's possible, yeah, I know. But like, maybe someone will see this and remember and be like, oh, it's actually that. And like, I'm just getting the name a little bit wrong, but like, it for sure got posted on Trick Track way back in the day. Like, it was like, we talked about it. Like, but like, it was like several years before its time, before like there was nothing like that for a long time, to the point that when we finally did have stuff like that, nobody remembered that bike had ever existed.
Totally. It just got buried in history.
I am unnecessarily passionate about this ridiculous topic.
That's, I mean, that seems to be a theme, but that's okay. I love it.
Yeah, well, you scratch the surface, and it turns out I'm a little bit passionate about this stuff.
Whenever I start taking my fixed gear documentary project more seriously, I'm gonna fly to come interview you.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! You got a place to stay in Canada.
Thanks, man. We're literally so not deep into our topic list, and we're an hour and a half in. But let's.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's.
Wait,
we're good.
Okay. Do you have one? I got one that I have to get to in the episode.
Well, my first.
Unless you got a crucial one.
Well, no, we can keep going for like 30 more minutes or so. But one that I wanted to ask too is like, what was the first like trick competition that you remember? What was the first one you went to, and were some of your favorites that you've attended?
I mean, I only went to I went to a ton of like, it used to be every alley cat would also have a trick competition here.
Oh, okay.
And I would come out and just clean up and be like the only trick guy and do some Kios and stuff and be like, hey, Tom wins. And like,
Okay.
I don't know if those count, but like I cleaned up a bunch of those. So I didn't actually remember this, but I was looking through my notes from that West Coast trip. So when I sent Bird the video, the mini DV tapes, I dutifully went through and made notes of all the cool clips.
Oh, good
like,
for you.
Who's doing what? Yeah, and it's funny because like there's like all the big names, like Tyler Johnson doing a death truck, and like all notes like that.
Wow.
What were we talking about just before that?
Competitions.
Oh yeah, I wrote down that Zach Hoffner's log, he would throw his future tense events, and I guess I won the trick competition. I wrote and I did this trick and won. Like Q spin, foot plant spin.
Let's
so
go.
Apparently I won that. I know you mentioned Midwest Mayhem, and we can talk about it, but I was obviously at Midwest Mayhem.
You were a judge,
I
right?
dislocated. Well, I in warm-ups I dislocated my ring finger on a Euro step up bar spin. I was trying to bar spin a step up. I jammed my finger. It completely dislocated at this knuckle. And then I was like, ah! And like the owner of the skate park, he's like, dude, it's gonna suck. You gotta grab it and pull and pop back in. I was like, okay. I just pop back in. But like for the rest of the night, like I was like, oh, my finger, I can't ride. And actually, it's funny. So we were talking about how the other night I was trying to get the Prolly to hop bar spin. I partially dislocated the other hand's same knuckle on the bars trying to catch it. Yeah. So that's why I didn't compete in Midwest Mayhem, and I emceed because I dislocated my finger. So they were like, I'm not sure who was going to MC it, but they're like, Tom, do you want to do it? Because like I was like the trick track guy, you know? And so I just like got quite inebriated and emceed it, and yeah.
That's a hell of a time. That's the life to live right there. That's sick.
And like I was like, you know, that was like kind of near like peak trick track time. And so like I was like kind of treated special by a lot of people, and that was fun. And like a rush, it's hard to be cool about. Like it's, you know.
Yeah, you were the guy. You were a VIP, man. So I asked our Discord if they had any questions for you, and one of them was from Satoshi asking about like why not drinking right now, and how's that going?
Oh yeah. It was like my whole adult life, I couldn't figure out how to moderate alcohol. Like, you know, I was talking before about how I'm so binary, I'm either on or off with things.
Yeah.
So I would, no matter like every attempt at like, okay, maybe I can only drink on weekends. And then that would always devolve into just getting drunk every night. And all through like, you know, I'm like an adult now and I have kids, and it was many, many years of drinking every single night. And just, I was so fucking tired of it. And I have a really good buddy, Justin, who at the time when I was living in Toronto, we were workout buddies, and we sort of challenged each other. Like, can we go a week without drinking? Like, can we do it? At the time, I was drinking every single night and couldn't imagine taking a night off, let alone like I didn't not drink any night. Like if I didn't have some beer, like I would go and I would raid my wife's hard liquor or something. Like I wasn't like getting drunk all day. I wasn't like a problem drinker. It was more like, I mean, it was a problem. Like I look back and I view that as a problem, that like, you know, commuting home, I had to go to the liquor store to get some beer. Like that was the only option. I was going to do that. And I was like, damn, I feel like a slave. This feels fucking stupid. Can I go a week? Is that even a thing I can do? And then like 2 days in, I was like, I'm done for good. I know it. I know I'm done for good.
Wow.
And what it felt like, I felt like there was a lion in the room with me, and like we weren't fighting it, but there was the little lion. I opened the door, it just walked out, and I just closed it, and like I'm clear. Like there's been like, I haven't touched a drop of alcohol since then. That's over 3 years ago. It was 3 years in March 11th.
Congrats.
So yeah, and like, you know, at first I was counting in days, and then I was like, oh man, I made it to a week, and then I made it to 2 weeks, And then eventually I was like, I'll chill. I'm gonna say month next. And then I was like, I did to a month, no
Yeah.
alcohol. And like, and eventually I was like, I guess I'll just let people know each year. I don't know. But like, I'm not gonna drink. Like it's just
Nice,
very
man.
much net negative for me. I put things on a scale. Maybe it's the Libra in me, but it was just so obviously net negative in my life. So and then now I don't have a beer belly and I can backflip. So like
Win-win.
pretty yeah, like
Big
pretty
wins,
fair
big
trade.
wins.
And like
That's cool.
and this time last year I experimented with like full sobriety. Like I'd finally cut weed out of like I've been like a pothead like my whole adult life basically. And maybe people don't really realize 'cause I sort of like a kind of squeaky clean image sometimes, but I my whole life I love my weed, Canada. But so this time last year I tried. I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what happens if I cut weed out too, and it was fine. I got kind of chubby. I didn't like that because I
You
guess like maybe it speeds up my metabolism. Sorry.
you got chubby after you cut out weed?
Yeah, I think it speeds up my metabolism. I'm not sure exactly. I've read that, but yeah, and like I was working out harder than ever, like going to the gym regularly, and like I didn't like it. I got flubby and I got love handles, and I was like, damn, like I didn't like other than it kind of costing a bit of money, like it really doesn't have any big net negative impact on my life. Like, and instead I've just taken out this thing that was kind of like a cozy blanket that was always there for me, and I don't know, it's still a useful tool for me. So
Yeah.
I did like 3 months off, and then I was like, I tried. I was like, oh, let's have a bowl, like old times sake, and it fucking rocked me. Like I was like, it was like psychedelic. I was just stuck on a chair. Like I had to no music, no anything, just sit there. It was just pounding. I was like, oh my god, yeah. Anyways, it's not like that now. It's all normal again. But yeah. Anyway, why did we get on that tangent? Oh yeah, just drinking. Satoshi, 84 Kick. He's been so awesome to talk to. Big shout out to him. He's been like seeing his riding and kind of combined with like getting back, feeling the energy of the scene through this podcast and so on. People like him and other people in the community, they're actively doing it. Like Annabelle, down in Brazil. Like people like I've been trying to like get my finger back on the pulse of the community, and like it feels really cool to feel connected to it again. And it's exciting that and that's having this feedback loop where like now I'm literally dusting off bikes and taking them out and falling on my ass and like excited about some tricks that like so I wind up in all these freestyle sports chasing the dragon of new trick high. That's what's taken me to all of them. Yeah. And it's also why I can only last so long in any given one, because I exhaust the like low hanging fruit of, new trick high. And then like, ooh, what's this next sport? And then like, oh my God, and they got gear and I can mod that. And oh my God, this becomes that becomes my life. And like, I don't feel like I'm choosing any of this, but anyway, so, there wasn't a lot left on the bikes that I was like, I really need to work on that trick. And because that's what drives me to drag my ass out and play around with these tricks at night is chasing after that dragon. And that's why I've been doing the acrobatics so much the last 2 years. There's so much available to me. So many fucking tricks.
Yeah,
I can just add a twist or learn a new concept. And there's so many different concepts and I can progress through them. And each time I'm like, oh yeah, getting that fucking dope head. And so, but I had kind of felt like there wasn't a lot left in bikes, but then I started fucking around again. I was like, well, actually, I never really got my fakey wheelies, and I like always had Prolly spins, but my Miller spins were never that great. Sorry, I'm just being an asshole there. But actually, I never, and so I'm like, I want to get my Vandal rolling real nice and my Cutter rolling real nice, and play around with both those styles of stuff. Can I ask you how you feel about how we've sort of wound up with two semi-thriving, as in like legitimate forms of ourselves? Been like, I personally don't think it detracts from us, but it's like they're very different. They both got to exist. What's your feeling on it?
I think it's awesome because it kind of satisfies the needs that two different types of crowds were feeling, because everybody who went through like to the full BMX side of things was like, this is progression, this is gnarly, this is cool. But then there was this whole other side of people that's like, well, that's not like what fixed gear like was all about. And it's like, why get rid of the one thing that makes our sport unique? So now, like, I think it satisfies both, and they're two happy subcultures that basically have a friendly little perfect union that support each other. So I think it does nothing but like grow everything as a whole.
Do you consider it giving up from a bike design standpoint?
Giving up?
To me, the holy grail was a bike that could do it all. And we kind of said, fuck it, you either gotta have a fixed gear like freestyle or a trick track bike. But like I always hoped we would find something that could do it all. That was what I was hoping we were working toward.
I think there are frames
And then we were
that
just
do
like,
that.
fuck it. Yeah, what would you say? Like the bomb track sort of thing, or
A Cortec.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but
think
even isn't that more trying to be more in like the trick track realm?
a little bit, but you can do. I put out a whole edit that was half and half on that bike, full trick track,
Okay,
full
fair.
FGFS.
Okay, so then that's fair. Okay.
But there are frames like in my opinion, a Thrasher V1. A Thrasher V1 can do both versions very well. A bomb track 700. I think either way, the answer to doing both is still a 700C bike. I don't think 26-inch bikes commute or trick track very well, personally. Although you're doing very good fish and chips on 26-inch bikes, which I still don't understand.
It just kind of works. I don't know. I'm just going around like, let's see what happens, and it goes around.
Dude, I can't do it. I cannot pull a fish and chips around on my rough build.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet you could. But you're JBall. You got this.
No, I don't know about that.
That's what I tell him too.
God,
Yeah.
Pizza always gives me that. It's flat.
JBall.
All right.
It's flattering, but I have.
Should we click through some topics here? Okay, can I do the one thing I have to get to?
Yeah. Let's go for it.
A piece of bike fixed gear history I don't think anybody discusses, but I have reasonable confidence in the coining of the term fixed gear freestyle. Okay, I agree. Mike Schmidt helped popularize and push and have us settle on that as a term. But I think the first reference to the term fixed gear freestyle was made by Bike Snob, New York City. And it was taking the piss out of us, being like saying like, isn't it ridiculous to, like, it's such a silly thought to do freestyle fixed gears that, like, to give it an official name is so hilarious. So that is actually the real like the nature of the term to me, and I love that. I think it's so hilarious because I loved his blog and I would read it religiously, and I love that he would like make fun of our sport at different times, and like and just sort of he would sort of take the pulse of the sport and bring up sort of where things are at, and if funny things happened, he would talk about them. But like it was a joke calling it fixed gear freestyle. It was like, isn't it hilarious to make it sound so official when that would be ridiculous? And then eventually, like, that term was just floating around. We're like, that's fairly appropriate. Yeah, fixed gear freestyle. Sure, okay. Like, I bet there's fucking timestamps we can go back and like look at the Google reference search for fixed gear freestyle, and I have strong feelings that it was biceps. I remembered at the time, and I was like, man, that dick, but like, oh, he's kind of got us. Like, it is kind of funny to give it like an official name like that when we're just kind of fucking around, and like, yeah, I haven't heard anybody ever bring that up, and I could be wrong, but also like it was such a flag in my mind at the time that like I doubt I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure. I believe you're one of the most credible sources for this
Like,
scene.
I know you are current day fixie psycho who knows all the facts and stuff, whatever. But like at the time, I was like reading every single thing and every single blog. I was going through it, and so like I know I don't have time to do that now, and I'm distracted with life and whatever. But like then I was all over that. Yeah.
Dude.
Okay, what else do I talk about? That was the one
Well,
thing I had to get to.
well, is there any other bits of history or anything that you feel the need to clear the air on?
Well, like YNOT itself, like people don't really know and like at all how it happened and what happened, and it was like I was like a bike person already doing bike stuff in the city, bike tricks, and I had thrown a bike race, and this guy came out to it. I had my own handmade pedal straps already I was using, and this guy had made some like sketchy pedal straps that like he and his mom figured out. This guy Tony, why not backwards?
Yep.
And I was broke messenger guy, and he knew a bit about sewing because like him and his mom had wrangled those straps together. And so like,
Ooh.
you still there, buddy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Give me-
turn his camera back on.
Okay, all good. So I when I saw like it was like an after party or some from the race, and I saw this guy's bike with pedal straps on it that were like clearly like handmade, and like I had my handmade straps, and I was like, this is what the hell, like let's do this, let's team up, let's make a thing. And he had already named it Why Not at that time, because like he was like he wanted to make, he's like a super business, hard driving, capitalistic business venture type guy. So he had already like so that's why like he will forever claim he was like the founder of Why Not, but like him and his mom made one pair of pedal straps, like there was no anything, and I had also been making pedal straps, and then we teamed up, and like all of the R&D and development of what became the like pedal straps was like largely me, and like trying different things and testing them, because like he was like a cyclist but only kind of casually in here and there, but like this is when it was like my everything, and we were riding all the time, and like and then eventually it transitioned to like we were making these pedal straps, and people were buying them locally, and that was enough to justify me doing those shifts in the garage and whatever. But it really caught on, and like the pedal straps were always like the thing supporting the business and allowed us to start experimenting with it. Like we did like hip pouches and got into messenger bags, and that messenger bag stuff really supported. Like we did like big distribution all through like Korea and all in the States. It
Yeah.
was like that really supported things eventually. But like I'm jumping ahead. So eventually the strap stuff went on for a long time, like why not? And it was all fine and good, and we'd go to Interbike each year, and that was really cool getting to meet all like the rest of the scene in person, Interbike. And but along the way, Tony, so all along, like I said at the start, I was broke messenger guy. He had started this little thing, and so he was like funding, like he would buy like a roll of webbing, and he bought the first sewing machine, and so he was sort of like he had all like the most like money into it, and so I had sort of sweat equity, but like he like guaranteed like from day one, like I owned a certain percentage of it, and yada yada. And then like that just got brought up less and less, and then eventually he met a friend of mine that I introduced him to, and they just partnered up and like started a whole like big distribution thing together in a big business, and they started a bike brand, like not Fixed Your Feet, you guys didn't know about it, like it was a whole thing, and that went on for a while, and like and I just quietly didn't have a stake in it anymore. Like no, like I was just an employee, and like damn, like and everybody thought, like everyone like in the public thought like I was still the face of it, and everybody thought like it was not my thing, and then but like I just had a job, And so then Hella's born 2013 September, and in Canada, parents have 1 year paid leave to split any way you want. So my wife did the first 9 months, and then when Hella was 9 months, I took over a daddy daycare, supposedly for 3 months of daddy daycare, but I knew I wasn't coming back. Like it was like I'll see you in 3 months, but like nah, fuck that. And like at that time, then I started Mosher Originals, and I started selling it was dog jackets first, because we had a dog. She was cold. All the dog jackets sucked. So I just made like a really tough dog jacket out of like backpack materials. And then those became a hit. And I was in like a ton of like a whole bunch of like dog stores. And
oh wow,
I was like that. Yeah, a bunch of stores and stuff. And that I went like, yeah, it was. And now it's mostly just I haven't at all been trying to push the brand, because so for the first like several years of Hella's life, I was doing hella all day, and then I would go out to my backyard shed from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. every night to 4 a.m. getting completely drunk, of course, and then total fucking wreck zombie in the morning to try to be a shitty dad all day with hella, and like still feel guilty about that because of just living life shitty. But that began that like going down the like exercising not at all and ingesting way too much alcohol and totally derailing my life in ways. But like, anyway, where am I going with all this? I don't know.
Mosher Originals, YNOT?
Yeah. So yeah, I stopped doing YNOT, and like I thought I've been part of it since 2013, but like I found recently people thought they were like still benefiting me in some way by buying YNOT straps. Like, nah, dude, they've just been riding my design I did back then when I worked there for the last decade plus. Like, they haven't changed it a fucking lick. It's my foot on the package. Like, the picture is my foot. Like, I designed every detail of that, and like, and then now like I still like a lot of straps I see come out feature design elements that like I remember in the garage, like figuring out if I fold it this way, know what that would do, like, and like damn, like everyone's just like everybody's ridden off my fucking strap design for the last decade. So like I know JBall knows this is the end of the podcast, so but I'm working on my own strap design. I'm gonna come out with it.
Ooh, you heard it here first.
Oh man,
you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Holy.
That brings
I got a name. Hard straps.
hard straps.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Yeah, as we said, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
Tom, how much time do you actually have? Like, do you need to go to bed soon?
No, dude, I don't care.
Okay. So
I'm a night owl, whatever.
okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish off with the last like couple required questions, and then we're gonna finish off the rest of the story for the bonus, and because we have a Patreon. So
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, no, I'm not in a rush. Like, and it's fun talking to you. So
all right,
it's a wonderful opportunity.
amazing. The last couple questions that we're gonna leave off with. First of all, what was the Toronto beef jam? What did that?
Okay.
What was that? Did it happen? What was the beef? What was up with that? I remember reading about it.
Yeah. Okay. So this guy Dennis.
Rat shit?
Did the rat shit. Yeah. Like me and him and kind of everybody. There was like all kinds of like various mini riffs going on, and the idea was it was like a settle the beefs jam. Let's all like just get together and have a goofy time, and like we all, it was like I think around Halloween, so we wore costumes and stuff, and the idea was to like squash the beef, you know. And like don't know if it was successful or not. We wound up just, it had a jam and it was fun, but like I don't know, like I know you sent me a little while ago like a preview of like a profile, and it showed like crews and it was like rat shit. I'm like, not really. Like that guy Dennis, he's fine, but like he just rides BMX now, and like he hasn't proven to be as solid of a homie as I thought he was at the time. You know, sometimes people, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, so I don't know. I don't have beef with anybody like in the world. All I want to do is plant trees and learn tricks. Be a good dad.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, I mostly asked because I feel like I never saw any footage from the actual jam itself. I just saw like the teaser or the preview.
Oh yeah, like we made a trailer for it, but not any edit of actually riding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, good point. I don't know. Again, I didn't fully think through all the continuity of storytelling here or anything. Yeah.
So from the outsider's perspective, I just thought, oh, this never happened.
Yeah. No, it happened. Yeah. We
Okay.
had the jam.
Was Phillip Williams there?
I don't think he came out. Man, you brought him up. Yeah, like he doesn't like he did like serious riding and like just disappeared, and like because I think he has like a proper BMX background, and like he was doing hard stuff.
He was really good really quickly and then left really quickly.
Yeah, and you know, arguably kind of like ahead of his time of like some like real BMX stuff, and then just like I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about ahead of his time there, because this was 2012. There were already the Ed Wonkas and shit, but he was
that's fair. Yeah.
he was putting out the most content in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah.
He put out
a dense burst.
He put out an edit every week. It felt like
Yeah, so he was like semi-local. He was in Hamilton, which is like an hour outside Toronto, and I was in Toronto at the time, and like we like kind of kicked it a few times, but like he would like if you picked up weird vibes from his edits and how his presence, like you got it right.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I did.
yeah. Yeah, he's fine. Like we're not like I have no problem. Like we're Facebook friends, but like
It doesn't mean much.
that relationship didn't go anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, a Facebook friend means literally nothing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Pizza, is there anything you want to ask before I get into these last pressing?
Should I save the always question for after those last questions, or
Yeah, that'll be the very end.
Okay. All right, that's all I have to ask.
Okay.
I really want to hear his answer.
Okay.
Do you know about how Tom Marche came to live in Toronto? I talked about it in that Wonka interview. I don't know if you saw that Wonka interview.
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing. And
yeah, Tom Marche moved to Toronto and like we barely hung out at all, and it's ridiculous.
That's fucked up. I would be so upset if I were you.
Well, like it was just as my life was getting like super uncool with like only work and baby care.
Yeah.
And like he was like here being like cool guy. Like, do you know like did I say the thing like he met a girl off chat roulette and then moved here to live with her?
Hell yeah.
And
That's
like
crazy.
yeah, like good for him. Like what a wild person, but like a clearly different place in life than where I was at. Like I said, I'm like, older and whatever, different like doing nerdy old person shit already. So it's like
Do you mind if I ask how old are you now?
41.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm like young. I'm not like super old, but like
you're spry.
Yeah.
You're good.
But like I got like all gray hair. And...
Dude, the gray looks
Fox,
cool.
Fine. Yeah. You're
no, I love
Fox.
it because I mean like it's fine to go bald, but like I got to keep all my hair and it's all silver, so I'm like, okay, cool, wicked, let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm going bald for sure.
Yeah.
keep.
I said it's fine to go bald. I prefaced.
That's my future, Tom. I'm serious, dude. One of these days, it's going off. I'm telling you, I just gotta embrace it.
You gotta hold on to what you have.
I know,
But not for too not for too long though.
No. As soon as I see any like real good, like real bad like signs.
He's checking his hairline.
Yeah, I know mine's bad. I know. It's a little bad. It goes a little back, but it's not bad. It's not like
This is the realest we've gotten.
Yeah, this is honestly like it's just there. Like it stayed there. It's been there as is for a long time. So, but we'll see. One of these days, it's gonna go off. So, I'm enjoying it.
We're all worthy and valuable people.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tom.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite current riders? Like, are you paying attention to the scene enough to know to have an answer to this question?
Like, yes and no, in the sense that like over the past like few months, I've been paying more and more attention. I've always like followed the various accounts, but like maybe scrolled faster past them than I currently am.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I've been intentionally following more people and even like kind of randoms and like just fuck, they're clearly involved in the scene. Like I'll follow you. Let's go for it. And so that list has been growing of like people I know of, but like not to blow smoke up your ass, but like I've always like your shit, JBall, like and like
Thanks.
Still present. Like when you put stuff out, I'm like, yes, like that's the riding. And like
Thanks,
and
man.
along similar lines, like I feel like Jackson Bradshaw has always done a lot of like he's so fucking talented and like it kind of seemed like he could do anything. So like he's embodying that like really good at fixed gear and can then apply that to all kinds of stuff that I really like seeing. Like I said, like I've been really enjoying seeing clips from like various people in the community I'm connecting with, like the whole Japanese scene, like their soul is amazing and I need to go there eventually. But yeah, like 84 Kick, Satoshi, I've been like he seems like he's like he knows everybody and he's talking to everybody and like it's great getting to connect with him and talk to him.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, and just like I mean like I could all the Korean guys who are like murderers at the Trick Track stuff that are just demonstrating whole other levels of possibility that like none of us knew were there. And so it's like that stuff also kind of excites me of like, oh, okay, I kind of want to get back out on the bike and like, because I thought I had beaten this horse, but like, damn, there's other horses. Like, there's so many other tricks to be trying, and like, I want to get way better at the back pedal pressure stuff, and like, it always kind of spooked me, but like, no, like maybe gotta embrace it finally, and that's a whole world to go down, you know?
Cool.
Yeah, so it's the community. The community is really who's hyping me up lately.
That's a good enough answer for me. Fixed gear Mount Rushmore, 4 people. It can be in any. Oh, sorry. Before we go to this, you mentioned me. I'm very flattered. I listened to the whole. I listened to the whole Ed Wonka interview, and you brought up my name for a sec, and Wonka was like, ah. It's so funny.
I've been a fan for a long time, you see.
The real one.
That's crazy.
It sounded like he was. It sounded like he was holding back a little bit of like why he was like a little hesitant to say why he didn't like my writing. I think, but I could tell he was.
hadn't settled into like you hadn't like made it steezy yet for a while. Like I think it was like more technical and more like facts. Like this fact, like I grinded this huge rail. That's an accomplishment. But then like eventually it became like the like. In writing, that's an accomplishment, but also like you did it with swag. Like it gets like even more like there's layers to it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. You have to kind of like some people figure out style before tricks, and some people figure out tricks before style. And I was one of those people. I had not great style for a long time.
And some of us just struggle with both. All right, so Mount Rushmore.
4.
Gotta be Hio for sure.
Yeah.
Tom Marche for sure.
We're 2 for 2 on mine also.
Yeah. I'm gonna put Ed Wonka on there just because.
Yep. 3 out of 3.
Undeniable maximum legend.
The 4th one's hard.
Yeah, I know. There's like a lot of really good riders who made contributions and did cool stuff that other people couldn't do. So it's kind of a choose your own adventure. But I have always been a huge fan of Tyler Johnson.
It's a great answer.
He is just so unbelievably talented as a human, and we were blessed that he splattered that all over us for a while and showed his genius in our world. And like, it's cool he's still around and we still get to interact with him. But like the edits he made, the grace on his bike, the like such blatant skill. So yeah, he's always been someone who've been like, damn, like when you just see him do stuff. And
I miss him. He's a good guy.
Maybe if could we do the West Coast trip in the Patreon, because I got to meet him and getting to meet him was like really intimidating for me, but it was cool and like
Tyler, man, Tyler, so deserving. He was so incredible on a bike.
I had Jensen here obviously because like he did so much stuff no one else did. How else do you like you leave him out of like consideration? And then like. There's lots of different pathways. Like even someone like Tepe, he is the furthest down his own pathway. That's kind of how I view it. It's like people who are like carved out their own thing and have like done the most or the like that to the highest level. And like I think about those people a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, my personal Mount Rushmore was the same first 3 you had, but then with Steven. But it could have easily have been Tyler. It could have been Soil. It could have been like.
Yeah. Well, and it's also that it comes down to how you like want to measure things. Like, and that's something I don't like to measure a freestyle sport. And that's also why I've never been super inclined towards competitions in a freestyle sport. This just seems so like oxymoronic to me.
Fair.
Like, how are we competing at a fucking do whatever you want thing? It's freestyle. How you rank that? I don't know.
It's hard.
And like, I know there are ways like, oh, that trick is like very clearly higher or harder or like higher amplitude or whatever. But anyway, I also don't, I'm not very like, I'm not trying to like, I want to beat you at this trick. Like maybe sometimes me and my buddies will be goofing off trying to get a thing or whatever, but like in general, I'm not trying to like dominate the crowd, and then it's just not the energy. And when the energy becomes that, when it's like, oh, everyone's gotta hype each other up, like I kind of dip usually. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go work on my thing over here. And it's not like, I'm not scared or intimidated. It's just like, I don't get excited about it. Like that doesn't spark joy to like, oh, I'm gonna beat you down with my trick better. Like that's just not my energy. I don't know. I'm a freestyler.
Yeah, it is. I've always thought about that. I mean, it's so subjective, and you could have 100 people like judge a competition differently, and it is kind of weird, but competitions are fun at the end of the day still.
You did. You asked me for a list, so
I know.
I had to do that.
Thank you very much for
Your list.
answering said list.
But like Keo and Marche are like the easiest way. And also, no one ever. Where does Matt Reyes ever gets brung up of like best riders ever?
Matt Reyes is every current new rider's favorite rider.
Oh, because he like really killed the like trick tracky stuff, and that's kind of hot. And
he brought it all back. He repopularized it. He's like the king of like modern day fixed gear, pretty much.
Right.
As far as
cool.
the riding goes, as far as the content goes, like all of it. He designed the Mash Reyes frame, you know. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like he's got to be in consideration because also like he's really fucking good too.
yeah, he's
know?
incredible. And what people don't realize, like modern day riders, is that he's been doing it for a very long time. Like he was in the discussion of like, you know, top 10 riders in like 2009, 2010. Like he was getting there. So
yeah. And like Matt Spencer has to be discussed,
Yeah.
like just for like the depth of his career and like it's.
Matt
Do you know
Spencer.
the first clip I remember of him, and like I guess this isn't the path he chose to go with his tricks, but first clip I ever saw of him was him linking a whole bunch of foot plant spins,
Death Pedal 2.
like just pirouetting perfect. Was it in? I thought it was like some like internet clip I saw.
I'm
Was it in
pretty
Death Pedal?
Death Pedal 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that was, I guess he just like demonstrated he could have that mastery and chose to go down different directions. But
Yeah. Now he just jumps
like
massive gaps.
yeah, no, I mean and his contribution is so cool too.
Yeah, Matt's such a legend.
Okay, I can stop blabbing.
It's okay. Why did you come back to fixed gear, and do you have any future plans with it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like shout out to this podcast a big time because I sort of like I think I watched Tyler's episode and it was already like 2 years old or something at that point. Like, it wasn't new, yeah. And it really I felt like, oh, this is like a community I'm part of that I'm just like choosing, or like not choosing, but like I'm just not part of right now. But like I am, like no matter what I do, choose to be in it or not, like I'm part of that. So like I kind of wanted to be a part of it. And like yeah, and as I mentioned before too, like there is still some new trick I dragon to chase. And it's novel again. It's not just new trick high, but I need to be doing novel things. I can't like I usually get about 5 years out of a thing, it seems. and then like it's old hat and I'm just doing it over and over, and I've been practicing those same tricks and I'm fiddling with the same gear, and then like that new sport comes along or new whatever thing, and it's all new gear to research and to order and to get excited about, and so it's novel again. I've had enough separation from it, but then also like I can return to Footbag and still have a fun old time playing because I invested so many years, just like in this stuff, in learning this trick set. So I love doing tricks. This is a whole bunch of tricks available for me to hit, and then also then progress if I choose to stick with it. Cool. So yeah, sort of, and then plans. I would say I want to put together that edit from all my West Coast trip things. I'm gonna get an actual video camera and stop filming on my phone and try to make like an actual edit, like not at night in the dark, but like spots and stuff.
Shit! That's exciting.
Yeah, why not? And then, as I mentioned before, I gotta get on the hard strap project. So I've already ordered materials. I have a paper prototype. The paper prototype didn't give anything away, and me talking about it doesn't give anything away because they're going to be constructed fundamentally different than every single strap that exists currently in a big way that I think should be a huge improvement that should have been made a long time ago. But like, if the gold standard is still some bullshit I designed in 2009, I think I'm going to revisit it, you know, like.
Wow.
And I have a better idea in mind. I'm going to put a pair together, start riding them. JBall, I've already offered. I'll send you a pair if you want to test out a pair. we'll know pretty quickly if they're good or shitty. And if they're good, maybe we do like a pre-sale and I'll like sell a whole bunch of them and have a business. I'll probably just do it under Mosher Originals because that brand's already 12 years old, so it's like has some legs, and I want to use my name because it's cool. And
Yep. Yep. It is a cool
Mosher
name.
Hard Straps.
Mosher Hard Straps.
Love that.
And
Oh yeah.
I feel like you also maybe had a plan to bring back a certain radio show.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So putting together that long lost interview I did with Wonka. I mean, interview is not the right word. It was just a conversation, but kind of I forgot that I was gonna do a podcast. I was like I talk about it in it. I was like I cut out a part, but like I tell him about Joe Rogan at the end and describe the concept of podcasts at the end. I cut that part out because he had no idea.
Oh my god.
That's before podcasts were really popular, I feel like.
Yeah. So he didn't really understand that what I was hoping to do with this. But yeah, I think I am going to revisit Trick Track Radio, and I've already got the next guest lined up, and that guest is Bird.
Bird Phillips.
Because he has a unique connection to the scene that nobody else has. He helped form what we are doing now as a concept, and that he's so directly like received from the people that I fucking listed on Mount Rushmore, the footage, the tapes, put together content that then went out and directly to the consumer influence, like into our eyeballs, that then we went out and did the sport. Like he needs a lot of credit for that. So Bird Phillips.
Amazing.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Pizza, do you wanna round us out here before we go into the Patreon content?
Yeah, I have two questions real quick.
Mm-hmm.
One, who would you like to see as our next guest?
Oh,
You can give us multiple answers.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. I mean,
or
I
three.
really enjoyed the Tyler one. I guess don't steal any of the people I want to do.
All right.
So
Well,
I was
promises.
gonna chase after all the big names.
No promises.
we're gonna get Bird Phil on
Yeah,
next.
I know. Yeah, fuck you, man. You haven't done Kareem yet, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Oh, you did Kareem, but it was a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little while ago.
Yeah, okay. Could be a good revisit. I mean, I want to do him, but I'd love to hear from Prolly. I think he has a lot of background. I think Trachosaurus, he
Interesting.
had
Yeah, that's deep.
an impact on the scene because, like, for a lot of the formative years, his blog, his website, whatever, was like the place to go to get like the cool version of opinion, you know. And if you like, he shaped what we were all trying to do, trying to look like, trying to act like. And
Yeah.
I don't hear him brought up much, so I bet he has a unique perspective on things. And he never posted me. I think he posted one 13-second clip I did one time.
Damn.
I was always so butthurt. Yeah. I don't think it was a thing he was doing, but like I was never cool enough, and I felt it.
Dang.
True. And secondly, what, sir, is your favorite sandwich?
The
What's
best.
your two
Chicken
go-to?
shawarma. Chicken shawarma.
Ooh,
That's a good
that
one.
Everything on it, like
that's-
all the toppings, lots of sauce, and spicy for sure.
Yeah.
I like
Yes.
that. That's an answer we haven't heard yet. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Is it in?
That's my desert island food for sure. Like I could eat that for every meal for the rest of my life.
Amazing.
Hell yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's got everything in it you need too. If you get all the
Really?
toppings, like
Yeah.
you're set. All the food groups. Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
All right, Tom. I'm only rushing us out the door because we have a bonus episode to get to, and it is late. Tom, to the public, to the people, to the fixed gear scene, what kind of shout outs and words, maybe words of advice, do you have for everybody listening?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity to open up all these cans of worms. I'm sure I blabbed more than I needed to, but it was a big relief to actually get to say these words to people who might care and who are in it with me, you know? So,
Yep.
and
Yes, sir.
it feels really cool that these words will then be going out to this community that it's so heartening that it's still there. That, like, I never abandoned the scene, but, like, I've been busy doing other stuff, and, like, to come back around, and it's still like it's thriving in lots of ways. And I've figured out a thing about all these obscure freestyle sports. None of them are gonna die. If it is a unique thing that isn't the exact same thing as something else, it's gonna continue on because there's always gonna be a community of people who latch on, who feel like that is my special thing, that is my thing, and so fixed gear is going to keep going, both versions of it, and especially now that we've settled into like this is a cool style of riding and this is a cool style of riding, and they both get to exist and they're both valid, and so now let's just ride that out, so to speak. But so yeah, my heart, yeah, my heart glows that this is here to return to, and that I've been embraced by so many people. Like I feel so like welcomed that I'm like damn, like. I feel loved. It's awesome. And like, but also sometimes like when I first post a clip after a long time and I get so many comments, I'm like, guys, I didn't die. Like, I don't, like, we don't be like, but so anyway, so I just feel really, really good that this exists and I get to be part of it. And that, yeah, I don't know, my heart's full right now.
Amazing. Yeah, dude, I mean, you coming back, it's like our dad finally came back after...
Well, sorry, I had work to do.
Had to pick up a night shift, man.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Anyways, shout outs to people.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Kareem for putting me in Death Paddle. That was cool. Shout out Bird for the opportunity to be in Bootleg, because I think a lot of people decided I am credible and worth paying attention to because I got to be in Bootleg. Like that went a long way to like legitimizing me as like a person in this scene. Like, oh well, he's on this DVD case, so he's a real thing. So yeah, Bird, big time. Oh yeah, Brian Castillo, Volume, that was massive. And then like Velocity was so cool for so long. But like I said Chris Lum, I had to mention him again. Like my buddy who died, he was like at the time my favorite person in the world, and like haven't replaced him, you know, like no one else came along for me to say the things I used to say to him, to like all these different things. So I'm like, I can only imagine about the people who've dealt with much bigger loss, even people who've been even much closer in their life, or like, so like I have more compassion for people and grief and loss just through my friend Chris. But I don't know, just shout out to people who were on Trick Track and keep reaching out to me and being like, that was part of my life and thank you for doing that. And honestly, thank you to the people that like have shown appreciation, that like putting out, you know, tutorials and stuff helped them. I was doing that because I wanted to participate and I wanted to help people, and I felt like I had little nuggets of knowledge. And then when I started getting feedback that was helping people, I just wanted to do more of it, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe that same part of me is translated to like, now I like donate blood and like doing a little thing, like giving a literal piece of me to help someone else, you know?
Yeah. Amazing. Catch the second part of this conversation, because there's so many topics we didn't get to cover in the main episode. In our
I barely scratched my notes.
Yeah, right. Same. Patreon.com/suckmycog for the extended conversation and more with Mr. Mosher here, one of the founding fathers of our sport. He's returned to us. Daddy is home. Thank you.
Brought the milk.
Thank you so much for listening. Catch us in the bonus episode and have a good night. Boom.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Bye.